My name is Daniel, this is the TriathlonDan YouTube channel, but today I am riding and reviewing this absolutely bonkers looking e-bike. This is an Engway X26 e-bike. Now, to be clear from the outset, I'm not being paid to talk about this. They have given me this bike, but I'm under no obligation to say anything specific. I'm also not just going to read the tech specs to you. There's a link in the description down below to the bike, which is currently on offer, and also all of the tech specs you could hope for. I'm going to focus on the fun stuff today. We're going to get riding it. I'm going to talk about what it is like to ride, but I'm just going to pick up on a few key areas first before we get started. So first up, where the party is, the motor. It is a hub-based motor. It peaks at 1200 watts and it will hold a sustained 1000 watts of power. That is absolutely mental. That is so much power, nearly as much as me in fact, and I'm hoping that that will mean that this is quite fast. Batteries wise, this is the upgraded model. It's 29.2 amp hours of battery, one in the seat post and one in the top tube, if this can be classed as a top tube. The upgraded one is that you get one in here as well. They sort of link in together, so you use them both to power the bike. The quoted range is 160 kilometers. Now, I'm sure that that is in the eco mode, but that is still using the motor to assist you, so that's pretty crazy. It takes several hours to charge. You can tell it is a big battery, but a big battery means lots of power. Suspension wise, there's suspension on the front and there's two sets of suspension on the back. So this bike, I would say, is very much suited to off-road riding as well as road riding, but it does make it quite heavy. This thing weighs in at nearly 50 kilos in weight, which is a heavy old bike. I'm hoping that's not going to be a problem around this closed circuit, crit circuit, but we will see. Wheels, tyres, brakes then. This bike has actual alloy wheels, 26-inch fat bike tyres, so these tyres are huge. I'm sure they're really good off-road, but it also helps on-road spread the weight out and really be able to carry the weight of this and of me. And the brakes are hydraulic disc brakes, which you need on this sort of bike, and they're 180mm rotors. That's like a downhill bike. You get lights front and rear, you've got a little computer on the dashboard. I think that's about it. Shall we get out there and see what it's like to ride? Let's rock and roll. Okay, then here we go. Camera lady Liz, just remember, if I fall off, it's £300, so you've been framed? Yeah? We'll split it, 60-40. Let's roll. There we go. And there are several different modes. You can flick through normal, you can flick through to sport, you can flick through to eco, and this all changes like how much assistance it gives you when you're pedaling. And then also there is a thumb throttle, so you can press that. I had to make sure it wasn't going to happen when I stood still. And that is basically just like you're riding a motorbike. You don't have to pedal, you can just go. So what's the worst that can happen, hey? So I'm just riding it now without the motor on, and there's no resistance from the motor. So this is good, because if you run out of battery, you can still ride it without loads of resistance, but this bike is 50 kilos. I would not want to be riding this without power. I'm going downhill at the minute, so that's okay, but this isn't going to be very fun if I didn't have any power. Let's flick on to Eco 1. Hello. Oh my God. Oh, Eco 1 is basically like the minimum level of assistance, and I'm struggling. I need more power. Whoa. Whoa! That went up quite sharp. So it's really weird, because you pedal for a second or two and then the assistance kicks in. So it's a bit of a delay. Then it's like, whoa, and then when you get off the power, you're pedaling, it then takes a second or two for it to knock off. So you've just got to, I'm sure if you get used to that, that's okay, but for a normal road cycling noob like myself, that feels strange. Let's see, if I'm on Eco 4 now, there's 5 levels. I'm just going to go up the little hill, let's see how it copes and see how I cope. That is lovely, just holding a constant 13.5 to 14 miles an hour up a slight hill. That's fast enough. It feels really smooth. We are just coming up to quite a sharp hairpin. I don't think that handling will be this bike's strongest suit, but let's see how we get on. Especially with me one-handed, but you know, what can you do? Oh. Just going up the ever so slight hill. I'm holding what feels to me like a really easy power in my legs, sitting at 13.5 miles an hour, which is a really nice speed. You're making good progress, but you're not at risk of like breaking any speed limits. And of course, you can go through the gears while you're doing this as well. So as I'm going up gears, I'm still getting that same assistance from the motor. So we are picking up speed now. Interestingly, in eco mode, the thumb throttle still works. I'm going to come back to that in a little while when we crank the power up. But that's interesting to see. Now, Liz has briefed me to really take this steady, don't do anything silly. And I said, yeah, fine. But let's go up into normal mode, which is the middle setting, and see how, oh, there we go, an immediate pickup in speed. That difference then was noticeable. So I'm on normal 4, there's still another level to go. I'm pedaling at an okay intensity. I'm probably pushing on a little bit, but not pedaling too hard. I'm doing 15 miles an hour up here. I was only doing 13 the lap before. Ooh, Gone up to normal 5, that is a massive jump. That difference between level 4 and level 5 is massive. Went up to 20 miles an hour. Let's see how we get on the next lap. These brakes really are good. You can feel them working hard, but you need them. So I'm on level 5, coming out this hairpin. Oh. 23 miles an hour. 24. 25 miles an hour. I'm still pedaling at the same intensity. 25 miles an hour. That's crazy. I'm not even in sport mode yet. Oh, I better not tell Liz. You can really feel the assist kick in when you start pedaling, and the speed just picks up. You like kick back. That's awesome. I'm just trying to be careful because I'm on off-road tyres on a damp circuit. Unreal. This is uphill. Okay, so everything I've been doing up to yet has been whilst I've been pedaling. I'm going to see how good it is on the thumb throttle. I'm going to leave it in normal mode 5, so the highest level in the middle setting, and see what sort of speeds we can get up to, or what sort of feeling it's like just on the thumb throttle. So that's all you do, is push the thumb throttle down. Yeah, it's not as powerful as when you're pedaling as well, obviously, but that's still got some kick to it. We're doing 21, 22, 23, slightly downhill. 24, 25, oh, a little kick uphill. It's holding 19 miles an hour, that's flat out. It feels very, on the thumb throttle, it feels very on and off, like your power or no power. Like you can modulate it, but it's not that gradual. It's okay once you're used to it. I suppose it's like driving a Tesla, but initially it feels a little bit strange. Right, just on the throttle at this hill, we were getting up to 24 miles an hour with pedaling. Let's see what I can hold without me pedaling. I mean, I'm not very strong, so who knows. 20, it's holding 20. Oh, I can feel the speed dropping a little. Holding 20 miles an hour up this slight uphill, and it's into a headwind. I'm down to 15, let's floor it. Oh. It's not quite got that kick out of the corners that when you're pedaling. I think I underestimate how much power pedaling adds to it. Right, I'm going to get into sport mode, give that a few laps, and then we're going to see how fast this thing actually is. I've raced crits on this circuit, like on my road bike. I want to see if I can get near the times that I do on a lap for this circuit on this bike. Doing 25 miles an hour on the thumb throttle, that is crazy. Right, let's go into sport mode. So you can actually see as well the power that it's holding. I don't know if this is combined between what you're pedaling and the power of the motor. Let's find out. Let's go at the thumb throttle. There we go. Wow. Peak at 1300 watts. And it's holding 1300 watts, 1200 watts. That's crazy. Let's see if I can add anything to it or whether that stays the same. No, so it stays the same. So that's just measuring the power coming through the motor. That is a lot of watts. Watch out. And that's just in normal mode. Right, let's crank it up. Okay, we're not going to mess around. Straight into sport and straight into 5. Let's see what this thing can do. This is uphill up here. I'm hardly touching the pedals. Can we crack 30 miles an hour? So close to 30, but I'm the one bricking it. Oh, that low down speed pickup is so good. 20 miles an hour already, that was awesome, and I was barely turning the pedals. I want to back off for this corner here. I don't feel like I can keep pedaling. Right, and now I can for this next bit there. I'll see what's got up this hill. So I'm pedaling as well, but only gently. I can still talk absolutely fine. To 23 miles an hour. Right, so I've gone into sport mode. I'm in level 5. This is it. This is full beans. I'm going to see what it's like on the thumb throttle, so without me pedaling from a standing start. And let's do a lap or so, just riding it like a motorbike. This is feeling more and more like a motorbike, so maybe this is the best test. Let's go. Right, I'm not going to pedal at all, just on the thumb throttle. I mean, it's not like it's kicking you in the back and really kicking on, but we are moving. We are going slightly uphill as well, so it's not like it's flat, 60 miles an hour, 70 miles an hour. Bear in mind, I'm not pedaling at all, and me and the bike combined weight's probably 150 kilos. This is pretty good, 22, 23. I mean, now we are going slightly downhill, but even still, 25 miles an hour, wow. And again, that's me bottling it for this corner. I got my gas out of the corner. Yeah, it does still pick up again. I mean, it's okay. I think I'm a bit spoilt by the feeling of it being like, wow, when you're pedaling, that's what you want off the pedals as well. It's fast enough to still ride without pedaling, but it's definitely not got that zap and that kick that you've had when you're pedaling. I mean, I did 21 miles an hour though, so it's fast enough. So far, this thing has been mega fun, but you're thinking it, I'm thinking it, just how fast is it? Now, in a crit race, I've lapped this circuit in just over 2 minutes. I think 2 minutes and 5 seconds is my fastest. So I want to see if this can be as fast as that, because if it is, I'm going to be racing crits on this thing next year. Right, so I'm going to get a rolling start. I'm going to come across the line fast. I'm not going to go too stupid in the corners, but I need to be making some progress because I want to get this time. And let's see how fast it is. I'm going to be in sport mode, flat out, pedaling to assist it and give this everything I've got. So race mode on, let's go. Very start finish. Go. Go on! Oh, this is... Get me close! Oh, get me close! Oh, that was hard. I pushed quite hard, and that was everything it had. 2 minutes and 16 seconds, averaged 24.6 miles an hour on a 50 kilo bike. That is absolutely bonkers. I need to give myself a minute to calm down, and I'm gonna talk about the big problem with this bike. What an absolute blast that bike is. A fun factor is a measure that is definitely a 10 out of 10. I really enjoyed that. Now, I've been blasting around, I've done 10 miles. I've used 25% of the battery, so even at me, thrashing it, that's what, roughly a 40-mile range, and I'm sure you could get more than that if you were to take it steady and use pedal assist more. That is awesome. What a tool. Now, the big problem, however, with this bike and this type of bike is that, unfortunately, in the UK, these are illegal. Well, you can own one, but you can't ride it on the open road. That's why I've had to come to a closed circuit today to be able to ride it. Now, I'm in two minds as to what I think about this, to be honest, because this does pose some danger. This bike is 50 kilos. It can do 30 miles an hour, as we've seen. If I'm to run into somebody, that's a problem, or a car or whatever. In pedal assist mode with a speed limiter, I think these pose less of a risk. So I suppose what we're waiting for is for some sort of legislation change to be able to legalize things like this. Maybe not I mean, let me know in the comment section down below. Maybe not this in its form like this. Now, you can ride it off-road, however, and it does fold halfway. I've got quite a big estate car, and I struggled fitting it in this morning. I had to take the front wheel off, and whenever you ride off-road or near me, you still got to cross roads and go on roads for a bit. I think the risk of being pulled over and getting points on your actual driving license and a fine is just too much of a risk. I did think about it, to be honest, oh, can I ride this to the pool, because that sort of distance for me, that sort of journey, I do it 2 or 3 times a week. It's about 5 or 6 miles. It's silly getting a car out, really. This sort of thing would be perfect for it, but it's just not legal, and because of what I do, it's just I'm too public to risk it, and I'm just not prepared to do that. So yeah, unfortunately for me, a brilliant bike, but just completely pointless in the UK at the minute, unless you're going to ride it 100% off-road. I think in America and other countries the laws are a bit more relaxed about e-bikes, so potentially that change is going to come, but for the time being I've got no use for this. But let me know what you think down below about e-bikes in general, or even these Engway silly crazy e-bikes, because this has certainly opened my eyes to it, and I'd definitely love to do more e-bike riding in future when the law allows.